So who is Rictor Riolo? Well, I was on, as Johnny told you, on a Bigfoot reality show on Spike TV. It was on a few years ago called the $10 million Bigfoot Bounty. The purpose of the show was to prove Bigfoot's real, win $10 million. Sounds easy enough, right? Wrong. Spoiler alert, no one found Bigfoot. I didn't win the $10 million. I'm still having to work. Bigfoot are on a budget. However, guys, when I signed up for the show, I had no idea the plethora of knowledge I was going to gain. We had two judges, Dr. Todd Disotell from New York University, who specializes in molecular anthropology, and we had primatologist Natalia Reagan. The knowledge they gave me, has benefited me as a Bigfooter. It gave me an edge against other Bigfoot researchers, and I'm gonna tell you why. I went into the show thinking, I'm gonna have a chance to go find Bigfoot. Maybe I'll find a stick structure. Maybe, gosh, I might find a footprint if I'm really lucky. Or maybe I'll hear some screams. Yes to all three. Did Bigfoot do it? I can't say. Those are all pieces of the puzzle. However, as we continue on here to the next slide, oh, went too far. All right, I wanted to point out, we also had Superman, Dean Cain. Remember him from the Lois and Clark TV show? So while all of us here were out in the woods looking for Bigfoot, Dean Cain was out looking for his career. Well, I didn't find Bigfoot, he didn't find his career. Nonetheless, we had everybody from all walks of life. We had the Native American representation right here, the Green Brothers. And then we had the African American team, these hunters from Portland, Oregon. And then we had the token gay guy right here in the leather jacket with the little necklace. Guess who that is? So, being the only gay Bigfooter, I had a little bit of an advantage. People were going to be paying attention to me. I tended to have a mouth. I'm very mouthy when it comes to Bigfoot. I'm very passionate about it. Now, guys, don't get me wrong for what I'm about to tell you. I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I think it's real. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, some people say, oh, Rictor, that's just the details. No, I could say I believe the earth is flat, period. No more discussion. But if I say I think Bigfoot's real, it needs more discussion. Why, Rictor? Well, let's talk about the Neanderthals, right? We somehow wiped them out. Either we killed them all, or we immersed them, or we ate them. Nonetheless, 35,000 years ago, guys, 35,000 years ago in Western Europe, Homo sapiens, us, Team Homo, and the Neanderthals were living side by side, competing for resources. Two hominids, in the blink of an eye in time, living side by side. Who's to say there could have been a third? Bigfoot, Giganto, whatever you want to call it, that saw what we were doing to the people that were the Neanderthals and was like, no, 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 no. Bigfoot's not playing that. We're going to go back here in the trees and kind of do our own thing. See ya. And now, 35,000 years later, we have Bigfoot sightings, Bigfoot reports, all these stories from all these Native Americans and First Nations people across the Pacific Northwest talking in different languages, talking about the same thing with their different names for Bigfoot. The Oma, the Skookum, the Sasquatch, which we've now Anglicanized as Sasquatch. The list goes on. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm the type of person that will always win an argument. My ex-boyfriends hate me. I'm like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, date and time, and weather temperature. Bring it. And so when I was on the show, Bigfoot Bounty, and I was doing interviews for promoting the show, people would ask me, Rictor, do you really think Bigfoot's real? And I'm like, yes. The probability of Bigfoot being real is very high, in my opinion, because of the Neanderthals. Now, we've all heard of Cliff Barrickman, right, guys? finding Bigfoot. He will take my position on there being a third hominid and raises the bar, and he says, at that time, 35,000 years ago, there was 7 hominids. Now, I can't tell you their names. I can barely say Neanderthal. I'm not a scientist. I'm what Dr. Meldrum would call a citizen researcher, or what I would call amateur hour. But I always choose to better myself. Yeah, I'm a Bigfoot fan, researcher, enthusiast, Bigfoot personality, whatever you want to call me, but I think I bring a lot to the table. And so what I gained from Bigfoot Bounty was an amazing DNA kit, which everybody that is a Bigfoot researcher, whether you're woo-woo or you're science-based or Bigfoot's your forest friend or man in suit, whatever, this is essential. And this is what my presentation is going to be about: what to buy and what to do. Now let's say, guys, you do find what I mentioned yesterday, the holy grail of Bigfoot research, the most fundamental, impossible, wow factor piece of evidence. What do you do? What do you do with it? Who do you send it to? Well, since I am an extension of Dr. Dissatel, I'm going to channel what he told me to tell you guys, since he can't be here. Now, granted, I'm not a student of his at New York University. However, he's my coach. And I've also recently learned something new from him, which I'm going to share with you.